Hi, how are we all doing today? Hi. How are we doing? Oh my god, I brought my own stream up because I'm trying to grab my URL. Hi, Dingbat, how are we doing today? I feel so strange because I feel so strange not being tired today. I feel like a new person. Hi Blake, how am I doing today? I'm doing that's a question. I've been up since like 6 a.m. And the reason for this is because I have been getting dragged to go to sleep earlier. And as a result, I've just been matching Natalia's sleep schedule. And as a result, now I'm keeping crazy, insane bakery hours. And I don't want to. Personally, that is something I would actually rather not do. It's more so that this is happening because of the fact that I don't know. I hate to say this because it sounds like I actually care about him, but it's just like when he goes to sleep, I don't have anything to do, so I just go to sleep. But also, the reason why I ended up going to sleep so early is because we were dicking around with this new video game. And even though it was in third person, it was giving me insane motion sickness. So I called it a night at fucking 9:30. Because I just needed to lay down my head. I don't have school today, so I can finally catch one of your Wednesday streams. Yeah, I know. It's, the Wednesday streams are really something. It's just because of my living situation, it's really just easier for me to stream on weekdays compared to the weekend, which is not the most ideal, but what are you gonna do? You know, we do. How did I not know you were live when we live in the same house? Great fucking question, because I also thought the same thing when you blitzed out today. I was like, huh, bro doesn't know I'm live, does he? What funny video game? It's a game called Outward. It's like almost like a kind of Souls-like survival game. And we kept dying in it. Except instead of actually dying, we just kept getting kidnapped and taken prisoner by like these slavers in a mountain fort. So we had to keep escaping from the mountain fort. And then we found a cave that if you went through the cave, you would learn magic. And then we died again. And then I guess our characters got so fed up of dying all the time that they just transported us back to the starting town to just basically be like, start over. Also, the whole premise of this game is that you're trying to make money so you can pay rent on your house in a village. And we did not make enough money to pay rent on our house in the village, so we lost our house. We can still keep playing the game and just like live off the land. But now we have no house. Fun. Really fun. So yeah, that was interesting. But yeah, how is everyone else doing though? How is everybody else doing? Because yeah, like I said, I've been up since 6 a.m. I did go back to sleep for like a couple hours because I really thought about just getting up early and playing League of Legends. I won't lie, since I was already up. I was like, oh, what if I just play some League at the godly hours of 6 in the fucking morning? I'm sure there'll be plenty of other leaguer degenerates who are the same as me, up at 6 a.m. being like, yeah, I gotta grind my League hours. Which, speaking of, I want to play more League on stream. I just hadn't done it because I was just like, I don't know if people actually find this interesting. But, you know what? I find it interesting. I find it interesting, so I want to play more League on stream. And as of what I'm trying to do right now in League, is even though I have my duo who I play with, I've been wanting to be able to play games with randos, specifically because I want to get better at playing with different people without having voice communication. So I have to focus on reading their play style and their body language more of my partner, instead of just relying on my duo to tell me what to do. So I want to practice thinking, essentially. I want to practice thinking. So I'm thinking, even though I already posted my schedule for this week, potentially I might squeeze in a stream on Saturday morning. Potentially. A thought I have been knocking around in my head. No promises, so it's not going to be on the schedule. But, you know, it might happen. It might happen. Get some League in before I have to go to work. Also, Monday I went to do a short job shadow and an auto body repair. Oh, very nice, very nice. Also, I stopped by a mall on my way home, and 75% of the stores there are closed down. It felt so empty in there. Oh, I know that feeling. Because and Dingbat knows what I'm talking about. Where I used to live, there was a mall that had a movie theater in it. And pretty much the only thing of interest in that whole mall was just the movie theater, because the rest of the mall was just shut down stores. Like, they had like a Barnes and Nobles, but it just shut down. They had a Belk that was on the verge of shutting down, and like some little teeny tiny shops that are just like shut down. Oh yeah, there's like the store that has the pinball machines. Oh yeah, I remember that. Oh, the pinball machines. You're right. Which that, I mean, to continue the theme of how I am weirdly obsessed with strange games. You know that I like Minesweeper, and you know that I like Tetris. Well, now you can also learn that I also am really into pinball. I'm really into pinball. We worked a job there, and for every ticket that we sold to the attraction we worked at, they would be like, oh, you can get like a quarter as your bonus. And I was just like, oh, cool. So for every ticket, I can just basically get a game of pinball. Sick. And I remember, though, I would just keep all my coins just so that way I could be able to play pinball. And I just kept so many quarters just for pinball. Yeah. I remember that now. That was, I'm so happy to remember that. I remember the joyous time we spent playing pinball and the different arcade games there. Also, COVID and online shopping really reduced malls to almost very empty buildings. Yeah, like there's also a mall that's by me. It's not like the stores are closing down, but that place is just a ghost town. They have stores, but like no one goes there as far as I'm aware. At least all the times I've been, dead. But to be fair, I also avoid leaving the house on weekends because I hate people. So, and there's like this really cool arcade that's about an hour away from where me and Talio are that we like to go to because it has a bunch of fun rhythm games and stuff. And we would go there to play rhythm games and dance games because we basically considered it a gym membership because all we would do is go there and play like DDR and a bunch of different dance games and stuff. So that was kind of like our way that we've worked out and would just like get fit. Which now I'm just like thinking about like, damn, I kind of want to go back. It's been a long time. But it's also the only times we can ever go is usually on weekends, and it's just like, I don't want to. But anyway, what was I saying about that place? That mall is popping. I will say that mall is popping. But normally, I only like to leave the house on weekdays because I don't want to be around people. Also, the mall I went to, I remember it being so lively when I was younger. Now it's just sad. Also, the Hot Topic I was planning to go to was shut down. No! That's so sad. I remember when I was a child, I wasn't allowed to go to Hot Topic because I was like told that it's like evil adult store. And I remember I went there one time with a cousin because she was returning something that she bought at Hot Topic, but she told me that I needed to keep it a secret because she wasn't allowed to go to Hot Topic. So I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, evil store, we're not allowed to go to Hot Topic. I hate the modern state of Hot Topic. It's so watered down. I couldn't tell you my thoughts on that because I don't really remember old school Hot Topic. Because again, it's because people just saw Hot Topic as this sex shop. Is that not Spencer's though? Is that not what just Spencer's is? Spencer's is the one that I don't really like going to because it's mostly just like drug paraphernalia and sex stuff, and I hate to be, me over here, super straight edge. That's not really my cup of tea. So I don't really go into Spencer's. I do like Hot Topic though, but their stuff's just so overpriced. And I guess Hot Topic is thriving because now they have the one offshoot boxed lunch, which is kind of more supposed to cater towards like younger people. But yeah, they still have a lot of like Studio Ghibli stuff. And I remember I saw this really cool Indiana Jones jacket that I was considering buying for Talio, but I ended up not doing it. But I saw it and I was just like, oh my god, I feel like he would really like this though, because it reminded me of one of his characters that he made for when we were playing Call of Cthulhu tabletop game, and he has a character that's like an Egyptologist. So I saw the Indiana Jones jacket and it had like a whole bunch of like Egyptian symbology and stuff on it, and I was just like, oh man, this would be so perfect. Like, it just makes you think of your character. but yeah. But yeah, I don't think modern Hot Topic's too bad. It just constantly just jumps on just whatever's like hip and kicking with the kids. I wanted to go to Hot Topic for Hell of a Boss merch, but now I can't. I've never seen them sell Hell of a Boss. They only just have Has Been Hotel, which I did buy like a Has Been Hotel keychain because I thought it was cute. And I thought, because it was just like a thing so it looks like it's like a hotel room key tag. And I was just like, this is subtle. I'll take it. So I got the keychain, but I'm not really one much for buying too much merch and stuff nowadays, especially like t-shirts, because I really don't like graphic tees, I'll be real. And so that makes me think that before, when I went to ballet class, it's a little bit more of like a little casual thing that I used to go to. So people didn't like show up in like leotards and stuff like that. Most people would just show up in just like regular athletic clothes and that sort of thing. I don't own athletic clothes because I think athletic wear looks really ugly. So I would just show up wearing just blouses or like button-down shirts with just like some stretchy like thick leggings that I own. And then my teacher started getting on my case about wearing button downs, and she's like, you need to be wearing like actual like t-shirts and athletic wear. And I was like, well, I don't own those things because I think they're ugly. So she was just like, well, then buy them, it's not expensive. And I was just like, well, fuck you then, I'm just gonna buy an actual like ballet attire like leotard and shit like that, because I am not wasting my money on buying athletic wear. I would rather die. So yeah, I'm that kind of person, I'm so fancy. I want to shove all the Funko Pops and Hot Topic and GameStop and shoot it at the sun. You want to shove them, but where are you shoving them? Where are you shoving? You say you want to shove them. Where? You want to shove them in what and then shoot it at the sun? A cannon? A cannon? I'm going to assume it's a cannon. Hello, House Stream. Hi, Jess. We're just chatting. We're just chatting. It's the nature of today's stream. We're just chatting. I was mentioning though about how I might do a League of Legends stream on Saturday though, because I might do a League of Legends stream on Saturday because League, yeah, because I've been playing a lot of ARAMs and stuff, but I've been trying to play more Summoner's Rift and that sort of thing solo, because I was saying that I want to be able to practice just like reading body language more, instead of relying on like voice communication so much. And it's helping me get better at maintaining the triangle. Illuminati theme. Illuminati theme. I've not played in so long. I've been busy with Halloween Pokemon event. Yeah, that's fair. Also, I have not played Pokemon because I only ever play it whenever we play League. But I want the Whale Lord though, so that's unfortunate. I need to get my ass into gear. Guys, do you want me to explain League techniques and stuff to you? Because now that I'm like mentioned the triangle, I feel like I need to explain it. So, okay, we already have you could already see I was opening up like MS Paint. It's like, hey guys, want me to explain this to you? Already starting to open it up and prepare for it. And it's like, I mean, yeah, sure, I guess. So anyway, the triangle. Ba 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 ba. Okay, so I'm gonna explain the triangle technique for you. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna draw the lane really quick. Okay, I drew an illustration of this before, but we're gonna just you know, we'll just draw this. Okay, so we got that. There's like a rock over here. So over here is like, I'm drawing bot lane on the map BTW. That's how much of a gamer I am that I can actually fucking draw this shit from memory. This is like the alcove over here. There's probably like a bit of a wall there, and then we have the bushes, you know. It's bot lane, okay? Yeah, there's the bush there, and then there's also like a bush here. And then over here is like kind of further back this way is like where you would have like the towers and stuff. You wouldn't see this tower, but you can see this one. And this is blue side, so we'll just give them like... Okay, so the triangle technique in League, okay? So say I'm playing, it's like, we'll say, okay, you know what? It's me and Jess, we're playing, okay? And I'm playing my character, you know? Wait, look at him. He's beautiful. I drew his fucking fringe on the wrong side. Hold up a minute. I need to fix this. I'm explaining League of Legends techniques. I'm a League coach now. Every single stream I reinvent myself, and today I'm a League of Legends coach. Coming at you from someone who can't even make it into fucking gold. So anyway, we're just gonna explain like a League of Legends technique. Although I do need paint up because I need to draw something later that's going to be in the theme with what the stream is actually titled today, okay? So I have Wei over here, and then we have who Jess is playing, which is giant eyeball squid thing. With tentacles. This is not what Vel'Koz looks like. He looks like he's from Terraria. I'm gonna be real. He looks like he's from Terraria. League player equal allergic to showers. No! I took one yesterday, okay? I took a shower yesterday. I haven't taken one yet today because it's still really fucking early. But like, I took a shower yesterday, damn it. I like taking showers, okay? It's nice. So, okay, and then over here we're gonna have the enemy team. I'm just going to, you know what, I'm gonna draw Jin because wow, that's not what his mask looks like. You know what if he just is wearing the dream mask? Yeah, so this is Jin. Okay, he's just wearing the dream mask. You know? No one will know that this is Jin, but I know it's Jin, okay? And then we draw Pike because he's like a bandana town guy, you know, and he has like the shark teeth on his mask, and he's like man. Anyway, so League of Legends techniques. I don't know why only Vel'Koz is purple. Don't at me. Anyway, League of Legends techniques. So in bot lane, there are normally 2 people. Okay, there's the ADCs. Like over here, so we'll go ahead and put a little like marker. I'm explaining this because it helps me learn. Okay, it helps me learn when I explain things to people. So even though I'm a bad League of Legends player, explaining this is going to help me learn. So, and then we have support. Okay, we're labeling this for people who don't know who the champs are in League. I'm writing this with my mic, okay? My mouse, okay? Not my mic. If I was using my mic, you would hear like... You don't hear that though, except for when I did it just now. Anyway. I'm reading allegations on League players. What allegations? Oh yeah, that I shower. Yeah, I do. And you know what? They also say that also only e-girls play supports. And you know, I am technically an e-girl, being a VTuber, but my ass does not play a support. I don't play Seraphine or Yumi or Soraka or whatever the fuck, okay? I play ADC, I shoot people and they die sometimes. Okay? Look, okay. I was explaining. So, in League of Legends, I'm blocking the picture a little bit again. This is very important to me. So, in League of Legends, you don't have to list all my mains like that. Look, we're twins because someone got the e-girl gene and it wasn't me. League players don't care about their mental health either. Well, I can't confirm nor deny that. That might be my weakness here. I think that might be my weakness in that regard, is I have poor mental health. And I'm entirely unmedicated. But, that's why I stream, because I vent online instead of seeking professional assistance. Anyway, in League of Legends, there are 2 players in bot lane. You have the ADC, who's the attack damage carry. Okay, you actually can't see my cursor. That makes me so incredibly upset. Doesn't matter. Anyway, so you have the ADC, attack damage carry. Okay, and then you have the support, who supports the attack damage carry. So that way they don't die, and so you can get lots and lots of gold. So you can, guess what? Do the C part of being an ADC, carry. Alright, your primary job is you carry the team with your super high damage. Alright? But the triangle technique, you know, Illuminati, I'll draw that, okay, for reference if you don't know what the Illuminati is. Okay, Illuminati. Look, it looks like Vel'Koz. Okay? Anyway, Illuminati. So the triangle technique goes as follows, okay? So, it'd be like if I'm the ADC, I want to position myself in the lane in such a... We want to position ourselves in the lane in such a way. So that way, we are always forming a triangle with the other team. So like in this case scenario, let's say Jin walked up like this, and he has a piece of shit support who's like hanging in the back, like... or like hanging off over here, trying to be in the bush because he's all like, ooh, I'm gonna hook you, I'm gonna drag Vel'Koz into the bush and I'm gonna kill him, you know? Yet, that does not work. You might think like, oh yeah, because like, you know, any VTuber counts as both an e-boy and an e-girl. I mean, yeah. Anyway, so... You might think like, oh, well, he can like hook this guy and then he'll drag Vel'Koz in and then death. No, not so. That won't, well, actually it could potentially happen. Well, actually, no, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. He would lose this trade, assuming everyone's the same level. just because of the fact that he won't get any help from his ADC. It would work. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess, you know, they do have a triangle going on. They do have a triangle. Jin is close enough that if he hooked you in, you would die, because then Jin would be like pow pow and then die. We would lose the train because he has high AD because we are mages. Well, I mean, okay, like, maybe I'm bad at this. I'm bad at this. This is why I'm silver, okay? This is why I'm silver. Okay. Yeah, you're right. I was thinking that. Like, well, Pyke does have higher damage. It also depends on what summons and stuff and what cooldowns we have. But assuming everyone has everything, yeah, they do technically make a triangle on you. However, we could potentially try to spin that around if they misplay, because, however, we also have a triangle over here on Jin. Alright? So, if they pull Vel'Koz in, that does disrupt the triangle. Because if they pull Vel'Koz in, like so, oh my god, no, that's too much white. We have to do a little bit of a... If they pull Vel'Koz in and he gets hooked like that, then we're kind of fucked, actually. We're kind of fucked. Okay, you know what? Maybe Pyke is a dumb support, okay? Yeah, you're, okay, you know what? You're right, Because then look at that. Fucking triangle, Illuminati. Like, we're dead. Yeah, you're kind of fucked in that scenario, okay? But listen. Okay, let's say Pyke used his hook and he missed. Idiot, dumbass, stupid, dunce cap, okay? We'll draw a dunce cap on him. Stupid guy missed his fucking hook. However, what we can do now in this situation is we also have a triangle over here. Also, because of the positioning as well too, in this scenario, is that Jin he'd have to walk back towards his support, or he could walk back this way, or if he felt really stupid, he could walk down river. Maybe he has his jungler waiting for him, you know, like, I don't know. We have evil Diana over here with her crazy hair, and she's like waiting over here, and he just runs at Diana and she helps him, and then if my dumb ass goes chasing after Jin, because I'm like la la la, I'm gonna try to get a kill, death. So, but anyway, the triangle technique basically goes as follows, is that in this scenario, you always want to be forming a triangle on one target between the ADC and the support. Yeah? Because, like, even though we have our triangle here, they also have their triangle here. So it's keeping in mind another thing that's a little bit of an advanced technique, which is threat radius, which is what everyone's range is. And it's not just based on the range of your auto attacks, because otherwise, we have pretty short range because we're mages. Pyke's is super short range because he just has a fucking knife. Jin has the best range because he has a gun. However, your threat radius changes based on whatever abilities that you have available. So, even though Jin has a gun, if he also has his ult up, his threat radius is like that. It's so big it cuts off the screen. Pyke, if he has his hook, his threat radius is like that. Even though I have a snipe that can also go pretty damn far. Actually, yeah, if I have a snipe, if Jin gets low and he tries to peel off, like, over this way, my threat radius, if I have a certain ability up, is also, like, off the fucking screen. And then Vel'Koz's threat radius is, like, pretty big because he's a... But yeah, so that's where things get complicated as well, because you can't just keep in mind threat radius based on just, you know, what a champ can do at all times. It's what they can do in that moment. That's why this over here could be a bad play depending on if Pyke has his hook. Because if he has his hook, That's his threat radius, and he can kill Vel'Koz and Vel'Koz die. However, if Pike does not have his hook, his threat radius is like this. He has a dash. He could theoretically dash in and stun Vel'Koz, but that would be really stupid if he did that, unless he's really confident. Because if he dashed in to get him, well then, guys, what does this look like to you? What does this look like to you? This looks like a really bad situation, yeah? It looks really bad. I want you guys, chat, you're following along. I'm explaining this decently. Tell me I'm explaining this decently. Why would this be bad if Pike decided to dash in so he could stun Vel'Koz, okay? Why would that be bad? Okay, hold up. No, go that back. I'm trying to say Vel'Koz is like stunned here. You know, like the cartoon, like stars and stuff like that. He's stunned. He's stunned. That would be really bad, yeah? Why would that be bad, chat? Okay, as someone who takes showers, this is genuinely frying me. Guys, what if I just do like, my Saturday stream is just teaching League basics? Okay, I could teach League basics to you guys. Like, again, like I said, I'm only like, I can't even crack it into gold, so am I that good at League? No. However, if someone has never played League before, I think I could give you pretty good advice, if that were something that anyone were interested in, which I would not recommend, but if you were interested, I could teach you. So anyway, ding ding ding, time is up. So here we go. So, even though you might be like, they have a triangle here, it's just that this is just really stupid. This is just really, really stupid. Why is the chicken purple? It's not a chicken. It's not a chicken. Okay, it's not a chicken. It's Vel'Koz. It's just, he's the only one who's purple for some reason, because I wasn't paying attention. Anyway. Anyway, okay, look. Okay, I'm erasing the threat. I'm like, erasing the threat triangle over here. Also, I should do their threat triangle in red, because they're red side. Like, that only matters to me, but it matters to me. Anyway, so even though this is like their threat radius now, it's just that this puts Pike in a really bad position, because even though this could be a really risky gambit, it's risky is the thing. And League is a game about not really taking risk unless it's a calculated risk, okay? Because this is just a really bad situation, because Vel'Koz, he'll be stunned for like a couple seconds, but like in a couple seconds he could also just flash and be under tower. Also, look at how close he is, actually, to tower radius. So yeah, he could flash, be under tower, they don't get the kill, and then they kind of just ate a lot of damage for nothing if it's not a kill. And then in this situation, I can just, instead of focusing the Jhin, I would want to focus Pike, because Pike is so incredibly out of position. This bro will just fucking, like, bruh. Like, if I saw this happen in a game, I would be like that. I'd be like, bruh. I'd be like, bruh. And you don't even have your hook. Why would you do that? I could only understand doing that if it's like Vel'Koz's HP was like only, like, he was like this. Then it's like, you know what? Fair enough. Also, Jhin could have just one-autoed, and then this wasn't necessary. I'd be like, bro, why would you do that? It's such a strange play to see. I mean, if they got the kill, I mean, it works out. But again, it's just like, I'd be like, bro, why would you do that? You didn't need to do all that. Like, that's why Pike is wearing a dunce cap right now. Like, bro, what is he doing? So strange. Incredibly strange. But anyway. But that's how the triangle works, though. Because that's like, as I said, you have triangles in position and stuff, yeah? So you always want to keep in mind your triangles and your threat radiuses and stuff like that before you make plays. And honestly, I could show you like gameplay footage to show you this in play, but I honestly don't think anyone finds that too interesting. I basically am like someone over here telling you guys about trains, and you're just like, yeah, sure. I love that you love trains. That's awesome. I don't give a shit, but slay. Also, yeah, I'd love to play some League later. I'd love to play some League. So yeah, that's how the whole triangle theory works. And then there's like a whole thing also as well too, when it also comes to like positioning and stuff like that as well, where you know, there's different ways to also position in lane. Because, you know, since Vel'Koz is a mage, typically we would kind of want to play parallel to each other. Yeah, there's different words for that also. Honestly, I played Zilean in an ARAM, and he was actually pretty slay, and I got a lot of honors, even though it was like my first time playing Zilean. But he was fun, I liked him. So yeah, there's different names for how you also choose to play around your support, okay? So actually, for right now, we'll say, right now they are currently playing in parallel. Why is that named? Because they're next to each other like so. But there's different ways to also play around your support. Like, if you could also hover your support like so. You see? And that way you're close to each other, which for both of us being mages, we don't want to do that. That would be really stupid and bad of us to play like this, because that would just mean, because just don't do that. If we like this was like a tankier support or something, or like an enchanter, this is more so how you would want to play. Most enchanter supports, which is where the e-girl support stereotype comes in, is that they'll play like back here, and then they let the ADC walk up and do like a whole bunch of stuff on their own, and they hang back here. And guys, since we just talked about the triangle, why do we think this is a bad thing? That's right, chat. It's because, look, the triangle, the Illuminati triangle, they will kill my ass. They will kill me, and the support will live and be so happy, and then they'll be over here like, get good. And I'll be like, bitch, you just stood behind me the whole fucking game. Yeah. So see, that's why you don't, even if you're playing an enchanter support, you don't stand behind your support like that. Because also, with my enchanter support standing behind me like this, you can't play with this. Like, you can't play with this because you don't have the range. You don't have the range. Even if you could be like, oh, well, it's technically a triangle. It's just an isosceles triangle. No, we're looking for equilateral triangles. Equilateral triangles. No right angles. No isosceles triangles. No obtuse angles and acute angles and shit. No. Equilateral triangle. You got it? You got it. And that's why also doing the thing where you hover right on top of each other, as I'm gonna, you hover right on top of each other. This still works, because even though it's just like, is this technically an isosceles triangle? Yes. However, we are both in range. We're both in range. I mean, yes, again, Vel'Koz can get deleted. However, because of this, it's harder for Pyke to try to delete me, though. So that means, though, if they decide to go in on Vel'Koz, I can help. Because we can have just all in on the Jhin and then destroy him. He's dead, and then we go, you're next, bitch. And then Pyke is like, ruh-roh, Shaggy, and he runs away. You see, you see, you see. This is the importance of triangles. Triangle. If anything, actually, in this situation, like, this is, like, not bad. This is not bad, especially because, like, low-key, me as the ADC player, if they're gonna go all in on anybody, they're gonna go in on Vel'Koz, and that's kind of good for me, because if he was standing over here, that means they go all in on me. I mean, this is still, like, kind of a better situation, though, because then we can kind of get the Jhin with minimal risk, because Pyke can't reach me, because I'm sitting right here. You see? You see? So, this is how positioning and strategy work in botany. Clap! My lecture's over. Thank you guys so much for coming. I said I was gonna talk about bad yaoi manhwa, and then I'm over here being like, actually, we're gonna go and hyperfixate about league strategy. Yay! I didn't expect this. I didn't expect this. But anyway, this will happen again, because again, talking about this kind of helped me really rethink the triangle, and like thinking about things in that way of just being like, constantly assessing how people are positioned to try to make the Illuminati triangle, because that's the goal, the Illuminati triangle. Wow. Also, I do like how gamers find strategies and do math for games like League, but can't do this in math class. I mean, to be fair, in League, I suppose at high levels you kind of do have to be doing math and crunching numbers like a little bit, but I mean, there's kind of like a little bit more fluidity to it. Because I'll say I was never very good at math in school, but I did have to teach myself math later because I started to get into sewing and drafting my own patterns. And for one, even if I wasn't drafting my own patterns, just sewing in general is geometry. So even though I was over here like flopping in geometry in school, it's just like later I just ended up having to teach myself geometry so I could get better at sewing, which has been very useful though. And I think that's kind of a big thing in school, is the fact that I feel like that they should be teaching subjects based on more so how it specifically relates to you and is applicable to you. Because I didn't give a shit about geometry in school, even though if they're like, oh, if you want to build a fence, you're gonna do all this math. Bro, you can hire a contractor who will do that for you. Like, you don't need to do that math yourself unless you want to build your fence yourself. And most people aren't going to do that. So, and I guess it's also the same thing with sewing. Like, most people don't draft their own patterns. I'm just stupid. But I draft my own patterns and stuff. And make a lot of props and things. And then it's necessary. Like, actually, hold up. I can show you guys something. Let me show you something. Like, I had to do, numbers for, okay, yes! Here it is! Oh, okay. So this is gonna look crazy to you guys. Again, it's League of Legends related. But I was, working on making a cosplay for Hui. Here's my picture, by the way. Which people stole my fucking picture with all my math and shit on it. But I was trying to calculate, how big to make his brush for my cosplay. So, again, what I had to do is I had to do math and ratios. And you can see all my work here of how I calculated that so I could figure out how big his brush should be. So, in the end, his brush ended up being 4 feet and 4 inches. Or, 53 centimeters or 53 inches for the, for those who are not, empirically inclined. Yeah, I did this. I don't know. Is this 50? I know it has the 2 markers. Yeah, that's for inches. Okay, yeah. I tend to prefer to work in centimeters though, personally. That's why you'll see that I have conversions over here that go from inches into cm. Because I prefer to work in centimeters. I think it's more precise than inches. And I hate fractions, so I prefer centimeters. Because I hate the whole, oh, it's 3/4 of an inch. Bleh, gross. Who likes fractions? Not me, bitch, even though I have to do ratios. But yeah, so I had to crunch the math so I could be able to make his brush. And then I also crunched the math for each individual section of his brush. So that way all the parts would be proportionate to each other, even down to the actual hair of the bristles of his brush. And yeah, I shared this online and people stole it. People stole my mask. And you know it's my picture because you can recognize my atrocious handwriting. Also because I'm like insane person where you see I write my fours like that. Because I'm gonna be real with you, whenever I was a kid, I remember one time I was watching Nickelodeon, and I don't know what it was. I think I saw like some video or something. Some commercial or like little segment where someone just wrote the number 4. And I don't know why, but that moment really stood out to me. That I'm like, their 4 looks really nice. And then I was like, I want to write my 4s like that. So then I started writing all my 4s like that. And then this is gonna sound so funny. You're gonna be embarrassed about this, Talio. When I started writing my 4s like that, he actually kind of low-key lost his shit because he's like, I don't like that you write your 4s like that because then we don't write them the same anymore. And he tried to get me to change back to writing my 4s like this. And I was like, no, 4. I'm back. What did I miss? I'm talking about how I write the number 4. You don't remember that at all? Yeah! Oh my god, yeah, I remember that. I remember that. You got mad at me for how I started writing my 4s. Who writes them the dumb way? Like this or this? First or second? Second is worse, right? Me, I write them the dumb way. What? But look at the, oh, it's more, it looks more elegant for 1. Also 2, look at that. Look at that. What is that? 1 line. 1 line, 1 fluid movement, as opposed to writing it like this. 2 lines. You have to pick up your pencil to write a single fucking number. Who does that? It'd be like if you wrote the letter B. Like when you write like the letter B, you do not draw 1 line and then you do it like that, okay? Economical people are going to write it like that. I do 2 lines when I draw 7. Oh shit, I fucked up. Okay. What? Like, I just write 7 like this. That's it. What do you do? Like it that? Or like that? I mean, it looks nice. It looks kind of nice, but I just do it like this. I'm also trying to get into the habit, though. Top right. Oh, so like that. Wait, so why would you... But you could easily do that in 1 line. Top right. Oh, like this one. Okay, so word. I see. With the slash in it. Okay, yeah. The slash is nice. I will say the slash is kind of nice. I'm trying to get into writing my 1s like this personally because I think it looks nice. But also, again, it's the whole economics of 1 versus 1. I mean, I guess you could do it like that. Working with fondant is trickier than I thought, but also don't have the tool. I also can't lend you my tools because all my tools are for sculpting clay. And that's not food safe. So, sucks to suck. Also, even then, the clay sculpting tools I have are actually not even for clay. It's actually for wood carving. I just use it for clay because when the clay dries, you can just carve it with, you can basically whittle it like it's wood. Just use less pressure. Also, I'm trying to do that with my 1s, but I either forget to do it or too fast or it looks like deformed too. Yeah, you get it. I saw my writing to look pretty. Like, have you guys ever tried studying typography? I think typography and calligraphy is like really beautiful. I actually have a set of ink pens and inks that well, yeah, of course you would do typography, you comic artist, you, tweaks your nose, yeah, comic artist. But yeah, I have a set of like ink pens and like inks and stuff, then a notebook as well where I've tried practicing like typography and stuff in it. I wonder, do I have that notebook? I think I do. Hold on. Let me see. Yeah! Okay. What you guys don't know is that my whole setup I have is in my atelier. So I just have a bookcase that's next to me with all my art supplies and sketchbooks and notebooks and canvases and stuff on it, along with all my sewing supplies as well. So I just have to reach over a little bit to be able to get it. Let me see. Do I have my lines of typography I've done? Yeah, this is a walk down memory lane. Do I have my typography lines? Typography? Unchen Andalu. Time code. What? Why did I write that in my book? I've tried so many times to try doing like Inktober and then it never works out. Ah! No, I actually don't have, I don't have any of my typography lines in here. Damn! Yeah, I use this, I have like this like really kind of like old looking sketchbook that was like made in India, and it has like kind of like this rough kind of paper in it where I did a lot of ink drawings, and every year I try to do Inktober in it, and I always like get fed up around day 3 and then I stop doing Inktober. It's already October 15th, so I'm not trying to do it this year. But I had used this book as a prop for a play, and they were said that whenever they used the book for the scene, since it had all my drawings and stuff in it, they would just flip through it and just look at my drawings and just be like, oh wow. And then when the play was over, everyone signed my book, and it was really cutesy. Nice walk down memory lane. But yeah. Let's see. You know what? It's been a whole fucking hour and I never actually got into the fucking topic of the stream. And I really only want to just talk about one fucking yaoi, which is Talio recommended it to me. Okay, so here's the backstory on this. So Talio, really, like, we both are enjoyers of yaoi. And again, for the uninitiated, okay, we're gonna open a new canvas here. Okay, my PowerPoint presentation. Let me just grab, since I'm doing so much shit in MS Paint, let me just grab my tablet so I can actually just write for you guys. I love MS Paint. I love writing and having presentations. It's so fun. Maybe I can make a living out of being a college lecturer, but for like completely useless topics. I hate you. I knew you were gonna get mad. This makes me happy. So, yaoi. Wow, my hand coordination is terrible. Oh, now I know why it's terrible, because normally I have my tablet is locked to only one screen, but it's only in my drawing program. So when I'm using MS Paint, I can only use one half of my tablet, otherwise it goes off onto my second monitor. It's quite fun. Anyway, so yaoi is, for those who don't know, boys kissing boys. Yeah. Okay. I try to draw hard. It looks like actual shit. What the fuck? Okay. Boys kissing boys. Okay? And Talio tends to recommend me a lot of yaoi, because they're both yaoi enjoyers, you know? There's that guy who made an entire college lecture on the Achinda lore and the Archie comics platonic comics, so it's definitely possible. Yeah, I would love to be able to do something like that. That would be fun. I'll just do college lectures on fucking yaoi. Okay, so we're both yaoi enjoyers, okay? No shame here. This is a safe space for everybody. Get out of my chat! Thank you. Now I have a new thing I need to ban. Well, anyway, we'll get to that later. My topic. Okay, so boys kissing boys, okay? So, Talia will recommend me manga to read and comics and stuff to read. And I will be so real. Most of the time they are not good. He was the one who actually, with his full chest, recommended to me Killing Stalking. Which, for the uninitiated, Killing Stalking is a actually rather famous yaoi manga. Yes, hi Gleeble! We're talking about boys kissing boys. I'm talking about Killing Stalking right now. Let me this is my world. Yeah! Yeah! Yeah, so it's basically like a psychological horror manga. That's technically, it's not a yaoi, okay? The creator wrote it, not trying to make it a yaoi manga. It just got picked up, appropriated by the yaoi enjoyers who were like, yo, this is yaoi, lit shit. And the creator was like, it's not supposed to be yaoi, but whatever. Anyway, I thought it was terrible, okay? It was just... even from like a psychological horror perspective, because I'm gonna be so real. Most of the yaoi I like to read is psychological horror and that sort of stuff. Healthy relationships, be gone. I'm only here for toxic shit, okay? So, it was just sad. Yeah, it was just not very good. It was just not good. They just like... and the ending pissed me off. Like, I don't want to spoil it just in case anyone hasn't read it and maybe wants to read it. I don't know why you would want to read it after I'm talking about how bad it is. But, just for psychological horror, it just wasn't very good. And it was just like, they kind of made the main antagonist kind of like too OP. Which is a problem I have with a lot of psychological horror stuff. Is they make whoever the antagonist is supposed to be kind of like too fucking overpowered. That it's just like, come on, man. You could do better. The ending was insane. Why'd they do that? Genuinely! It was just a bad ending. It was just a bad ending. It was just not good. So anyway, Killing Stalking. I'm being really vague talking about this for those who don't know anything about this. I just don't read it. It's a waste of time. I mean, it's popular, I guess. So, I mean, if you want to be able to get in on some internet lore of like, oh my god, Killing Stalking. Like, you'll mention this in certain circles, everyone will instantly know what you're talking about, and everyone's gonna have strong opinions on it. So, I mean, if you want to get hip with the kids, read some Killing Stalking, but it's honestly kind of shit. Anyway, so, the manga I really wanted to talk about today was the one that Talia just recommended to me. He has been recommending this to me forever. Anytime we ever talk about yaoi, he's like, you have to read this one. This one is so good. Oh my god, you haven't read it already? I hate you. Tell me, like, I'm gonna tell you about this manga. This comic, it's so good. Read it, read it, read it. And you know what, guys? I finally decided to read it today. When I got up at 6 a.m. in the morning, I opened up my phone and I was like, you know what? We're gonna read this comic that he's been praising to high heaven and insisting that I have to read it. And it is called Blind Play. It is a manhwa, and it's supposed to be the same psychological horror stuff, you know? Because it's like the main character, and I can go into more detail about this because I just read this recently. Whereas I read Killing Stalking like many years ago. But Blind Play is about this guy who is a masseuse, and he is blind, okay? But he's not actually blind, he just pretends to be blind, okay? Yeah, the art is pretty good. I thought that it became very obvious to me though that the artist is just very into tongues. She's just very into tongues. She's always drawing them making out with each other and doing zoom in on their tongues. And I'm like, okay, I mean, I guess this is where you're getting off, because it's like, I'm just like, I don't see the appeal in the art here, but you really, every single fucking scene, she always like, and here's the thing I kind of thought about too, because okay, like the main character, he's a masseuse, and then the guy, the antagonist of the story, is like, he's an author who writes like mystery novels, but he's also a murderer as well, you know? And he keeps hiring this masseuse to like do stuff with him and stuff like that. The not blind masseuse. And it's like, so the not blind masseuse would be like, you know, doing stuff for him. And then he'd be like, stop that. I want to kiss you. And for one, I'm like, bro, you're kind of a freak for that. But then it's just like, bro, with all that tongue, and then it happened every single fucking scene. Every single fucking scene. No matter what the fuck they were doing, bro was just like, get over here. And then it's just like, just aggressive kissing, and then it's just like, you know, just like, nah, spit and shit, like, nah, blah. This is people's, yeah, this is, the visual representation was necessary, FYI. The visuals are necessary, because this is what all the fucking panels look like, okay? I'm not crazy. This is just what all the, why can't I select black? What the hell? Okay, pull that back. Thank you. Thank you. I'm trying to draw their mouths. Okay? And they're just like, bleh! Yeah, they're just like, blah, blah, blah. Like, their tongue's just all over the fucking place. I'm like, bro, I'm not into this. Why is there so much fucking, just every single fucking scene, they're just like, blah, kissing, blah. And then it's just always just open mouth kissing with just their tongues like, nah. It's like, stop it. But anyway, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the story, okay? I didn't plan to talk about the excessive kissing. We're talking about the story. So, the story sucks. Because, I mean, you know, I kind of like the main character a little bit, because I kind of like that he's just honestly a piece of shit. He just pretends to be blind, just in case he runs into any of his clients or whatever, you know? Because part of like his appeal as like a masseuse or whatever is the fact that he's blind. So his clients have like secrecy because he doesn't know who they are and he doesn't know what they look like. So it's just like, if they hire him, it's just like ultimate confidentiality, you know? So then this author guy, who's a murderer, hires him. And this also so confused me, because like he hired him for his services, and I guess he was just like playing around with him, because he hired the blind guy for his services. And so the blind guy shows up at his apartment, the author's apartment, and then the author just has like a dead body on his sofa. And I guess he was testing to see if the blind guy was actually blind, which he's not. But he's having to play it off and act like he can't see or know what's happening. That there's like just a fucking corpse on the couch while they're like freaking it. Because otherwise, if the guy knows that he's not blind, he's like worried that he's gonna die. He probably would die. Be real. So, it's just like, but then I guess it's like the author just kind of gets fixated on just kind of wanting to just keep messing with him. Because like the main character, he has like this feeling that he's like, I feel like the author knows that I'm not blind and I'm just faking it. He just keeps pushing me to see if he can figure out if I'm faking it or not. And trying to trip me up. Because like also the author would be doing stuff too. Where like he would hold out his hand for a handshake. and the not blind guy would like kind of almost like start to reflexively reach, and then he'd stop and be like, shit, this guy is good. Which I liked those moments. Those were like the good moments I liked in this manga. Like the mind games and that sort of thing. But then after the blind guy like freaks it with the author for the first time, then the author is just like, oh, will I see you again if you want to continue this? And the blind guy's like, after he just freaked it with this guy, and he has a corpse on his damn couch, and he's even thinking to himself, I should call the police. Guess what he fucking says? Yeah, I'll come back. What? Why? Why would you do that? Why? Yeah, and it's not like he ever had a moment that he's like, if I don't go, this guy's gonna find me and kill me. No, what if he just didn't want to go back because he's just like, actually, I just think the sex was bad. And I don't want you as a client anymore. It was just really bad. Also, your house smelled because you had a fucking corpse in it. Like, I don't know. It was so weird. It was so strange. Yeah, also, yeah, he thought about calling the cops. But then he ended up not doing it because he's just like, oh, they won't believe me. I need concrete evidence. So then he goes back a second time and he buys like spy sunglasses to like be in the place of like his normal blind people glasses, you know, the blind people glasses. Blind people glasses. Yeah, blind people, you know, but it's like a spy camera. Okay. Also, hi SD Tim, what's up? Hi. So, we're talking about Yaoi. Anyway. So, so he goes back with these glasses because he wants to see if he can record the guy's apartment or find him doing anything. Also, thanks for the follow. So he goes back to this guy's apartment so he can see if he can find this guy doing anything. And then, with his spy sunglasses, he finds out that the author had just, like, hired a guy and had him tied up. And in his bedroom. And was just, like, I guess he, like, threatened the guy that he had to stay quiet. So then, like, the not blind guy is, like, over here doing his services for the author or whatever, while he's trying to ignore the fact that there's just a guy just, like, whimpering in the corner because he's just tied up and was tortured earlier. Which my thing is even if you were blind, brother, even if the guy is trying to be quiet, how do you not quietly just hear someone just going, like, you know? And he's like, oh, he's so quiet, I can't even hear him breathing. Bullshit. I don't believe it. It was so fucking stupid. So stupid. And then here's another thing too, is that it's just like, after he finished servicing the guy, the author's like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna go and take a shower and get cleaned up. And he leaves him in the room alone with the guy who's just tied up. And as soon as the murderer author guy leaves, the guy who's tied up starts trying to talk to our protagonist. And he's like, oh my God, please help me. I'm tied up here. This guy's psycho. He's gonna kill me. Help me, please. And our protagonist does not untie the guy or help him in any way or even want to even fucking talk to this guy, because he's just like, if I help you, I'm gonna die, so sorry, but I need to protect my own life, which I mean is fair. But also, the guy went into the shower because before he was worried that he was like, oh, I think the author is still standing there, but then he hears the shower start running and he knows the guy is actually taking a shower. So it's just like, bro, you could just unblindfold the guy who's tied up, and then the two of you can just book it out. The guy's in the shower. What's he gonna do? Chase you into the fucking street? He's gonna chase you into the street? That's just gonna look really bad. That's gonna look really, really bad if he does that. You could just leave. And it's not like, oh, the front door is locked. The door locks from the inside, damn it. And you're inside. You can just leave. But no, he's like, no, I can't help you. Otherwise, I'm gonna die. But I'll call the police as soon as I leave. And then he like stops talking to the guy because he doesn't want the author to know that they were talking. The author gets out of the shower. And then he's just like, oh, hey, you should take a shower too and get cleaned up, you know? And then he's just like, oh, okay. So then he slowly starts making his way over to the bathroom. And it's like this whole scene where every step he takes towards the bathroom, the author matches and starts walking closer to the guy who's just tied up on the floor. And I think he's like holding a knife in hand. So our protagonist knows that he's just like, oh my God, when I walk into this bathroom, he's gonna reach the guy who's tied up on the floor and he's going to kill him. And you know what he does? He just walks into the bathroom and doesn't do a damn thing. And he just acts as though he didn't know what happened because he's still pretending to be blind. But my complaint with this is even if he was actually blind and he didn't know this, how do you not hear someone getting murdered? How do you not hear that? It's not like he walked into the bathroom and then closed the door, you know? And so it's like a reasonable, like, oh, like the doors muffled the sound of him stabbing a guy in the jugular. No, the door was still open and he was like literally only like maybe 2 feet away. And the author just stabs the guy in the fucking jugular. I'm sorry, even if you were blind, you would fucking hear that! Also, at that point, for the guy who's tied up, why would you not then? Like, I would be dying so loudly and dramatically in that instance. Like, if it's the last moment of my damn life and someone stabbed me in the jugular, I'm not gonna continue just being quiet. There's no point anymore. There's no point anymore to being quiet. So even if our protagonist was reasonably blind, I would not just be like and die. I'd be like, ah! And die. And then it'd be like, hey, you know what? At least I didn't die for nothing. At least I didn't die for nothing, you know? And then, oh my god, this was so stupid too. I would call the guy out in my dying breath for being a damn liar. Also me too. I'd be like, fuck you, bro. He's not even blind, by the way. Fuck this bitch. I'm dead. I don't care. Come with me. We'll go to hell together. I'll high five you on the way down. Fuck you. And then it's just like, oh my god. And then this is also very stupid. Is that after like the guy killed him, the author killed the guy, he's like, actually, let's take a shower together, you know? Because I want to spend more time with you. Ooh. So they go and they start showering together. And then he's like, okay, I want to make you, you know, I want to make you, you know, in the shower, okay? But then our protagonist is flipping the fuck out because he's like, oh my god, if I do that, there'll be DNA evidence in the shower. They'll think I'm an accomplice. Also, he made him wear his glasses in the shower. So his, like, spy glasses or whatever, the video recording got ruined. The video recording got ruined because his glasses got wet. So all the evidence he just had of this guy getting murdered right before his eyes, gone. And then he's like, oh my god, I can't report this to the police because otherwise they're gonna, my DNA is gonna be here in the shower and they're gonna think I'm an accomplice. What? I'm sorry, what? If you report this and you're like, oh my god, I just saw this guy just like fucking kill someone and I was just trying to do my job, but then I heard him kill someone. Like, I'm sorry, I feel like you could very easily disprove the fact that you're not an accomplice. Like, that was so fucking stupid to me. It was so stupid to me. But the main crux of what I want to talk about in this manga is the section I was reading. Just, if you don't mind me asking, do you play League by chance? Yeah, I play League. Yeah, what's up? What do you ask? I spent like 30 minutes explaining the triangle positioning in League of Legends. But yeah, I play League. But you're also just here, so you wouldn't know that. But yeah, hi. Who do you main? Tell me. Also, we'll get back to the topic while I give you time to respond. So the main thing I want to talk about in this manga is 30-minute triangle positioning, 30 men getting... Me triangle positioning myself at the orgy so I can get railed by as many people as possible. Also, they play League. They're a Yumi main that watches TikTok while they play. Look, actually, I'm curious. What is my mastery even on Yumi? Let me look up the League mastery chart. Because I could disprove that like that, okay? Wait, no, I was about to say, like, someone stole my fucking username, but they're on EU. They're on EU, they didn't steal my username. Anyway, League mastery chart. I'm in the way. I'm in the way. Fuck. Okay, I can just scroll up. Anyway, so I can't even fucking see Yumi in this chat. Hello? Where is she? Anyway, so as you can see, I'm a one trick. Where the fuck is Yumi on here? What the hell? Where is she? I feel like I'm playing. Oh, there she is. Oh, next to Fel. Okay, I was expecting her to be like a really tiny bubble, but yeah, she's like okay. Oh, I have mastery level 5 on her. That's kind of crazy. Do I have more mastery on Evelyn or Yumi? 29, 83, 29. Okay, I'm just a little bit more mastery on Evelyn than Yumi. Okay, slay. Anyway, so yeah, that's my League mastery. ADC main, let's go. And I was 0% win rate on Ezreal and he's ripped. And it's not even my fault, he's just cursed. He's just cursed. Anyway, back to MS Paint. So, the thing I want to talk about was, okay, so the point I had read up to in the story is that author guy had captured our protagonist like ex-boyfriend, I guess, because like they were kind of like a thing, but also his ex was like really abusive or whatever, so we'll say he's his ex. So he captured the protagonist like ex-boyfriend and was like kept him in his house so that way he could, like, he was trying to bait the blind protagonist into like doing more mind games and shit with him, you know. And then he did like this torture thing, which is the thing that really ticked me off and made me be like, okay, you know what, I'm kind of fucking done with this manga. He did this thing where he took the guy and he had him like in a bathtub, you know, okay? And that's why the visuals were so important. It was specifically this moment. He had this guy in a bathtub. It's like a pretty, like, decently deep bathtub, you know? But he has him in a bathtub. And then there's, like, the faucet over here of the bathtub, yeah? The faucet. Let me redraw how the faucet looks. Otherwise, it looks a little, like, the little old-timey spinny faucets are what we're going with here. So he has this guy. And then, then, he has this guy, like, the ex-boyfriend, like, tied up here. So it's like, he has, like, okay. Like, he has, like, wow, these are, like, the best feet ever, but, like, bear with me here, okay? He has him, like, his ankles are, like, tied up to the faucet, like so. And then he's just kind of, like, my anatomy is not good, bear with me, okay? This is like a really awkward position to draw, okay? He's like over here, like, Okay, the abs are important, okay? You'll see, you'll see. And then, like, his arms are kind of, like, behind his back, like so. And then, you know, he can mog a little bit. I think he deserves to mog. Yeah. And then he has some cool hair, like so. He has, like, the flattest head known to man, but, you know. Anyway, so... So this is the situation, okay? The situation is right here. The abs. Anyway, so we got his pecs and stuff, you know, and I guess we'll give him like some modesty shorts. I don't know if he was clothed in the manga. I don't think he was. Modesty shorts. Anyway. So he's like tied up. His hands are tied behind his back. And his ankles are tied to the faucet like this. And then our murderer guy has it so that way the faucet is just like slowly like dripping water and like filling up the bathtub so that way he would like drown if our protagonist doesn't show up in time. And this is supposed to be like very kind of like high stakes and stuff, you know. My question was though is if this guy is just in the bathtub like that, okay, like that, could he not just then, if he's basically just like in this position from the side, and keep in mind, he has 6-pack abs. So even if he's like this, can he not just like, just be like that? Like, just like sit up? Can he not just like sit up like this and then he'd be fine? I'm not blocking the screen. Am I? Am I? Am I? Am I? Also, hey Demand, what's up? I'll move them. I'll move them a little bit, okay? I'll move it. I'll move it. Oh, my illustrations. No, my illustrations. Oh, my art. My beautiful art. Okay, there we go. So, if he's going to drown and be like, you know, glub, glub, glub underwater because he's like, oh, brother, I can't, I'm gonna be underwater. Can he not just, like, sit up and then he's like, thumbs up emoji? Like, instead of just being, like, just, like, being down here like this? Especially because here's my thing. The situation, red circle moment, he has 6-pack abs. He has 6-pack abs. He definitely has the strength to be able to do a curl up. So that way he's above the water. And then he'd be fine. But instead, there's like this whole panel in the manga, which I mean is a really nice panel. I'll give it that. It looks really nice. Where you just see like all the water and shit like this, and then you just see just like the tip of his nose just like sticking out from the water like that. And like so. And then his face is just under the water like... It's just like a face of fear. The fear. Oh, you can't see my beautiful drawing. Oh my god, I'm just all in the way today. I'm so in the way today. I'm moving more to the side. Art is more important than me. Okay, I'm getting really tiny and I'm going way off to the side now. See, his face is like in the water like that. Everyone has abs, even fat people. Yeah, it just depends on how low like your body fat percentage is. Also, I mean just like how strong your abs are too. Because I mean like some people genuinely can't curl up and do a sit-up, you know, because they just don't practice sitting up and stuff like that. But for someone who has a fucking 6-pack, yeah, brother, you fucking can. I just decided to test it IRL to see, and yeah, he should have been able to sit up easy. Exactly, thank you. Thank you. But it was supposed to be a whole high stakes thing, like, oh, he's gonna die because the water. And he can sit up. He can sit up. What are the abs for if he can't sit up? Brother! And that actually made me so mad that I'm like, I kind of don't want to read this anymore. I kind of don't want to read this anymore. And then also, even Talio had mentioned something as well too, that it was just like also, being that he has such a low body fat percentage as well, he should be naturally buoyant. Okay? He should be naturally buoyant. So honestly, he should kind of, as the tub fills up, he should kind of float a little bit. Because I don't know about you, but whenever I try taking baths like that, I kind of float a little bit in the tub. I can't get myself to sit and stay at the bottom of the tub. I float. So I feel like as the tub also fills up with water, he would just float. You know? I left for like a little bit and I came back to this. Yeah, my illustrations, okay? I mean, it definitely, I kind of look like a serial killer, like it looks like my serial killer, like, master plans. It involves yaoi, boys kissing boys, tongues, guy in a tub with 6-pack abs. Exactly, and actually, in fact, you're more buoyant the more body fat you have. You're more buoyant the more body fat you have. So actually, it's just like, because human beings are just naturally buoyant, he should just float, in addition to being able to just sit up out of the water. You have to save this canvas. You know what? You're so right. You're so right. Let me save it right now. I'll post it on Twitter, because I'm sure you guys want to see this. So anyway, yeah, that's my complaints I had with blind play. And Talia's mad because I just decided to make a whole stream complaining about this. I expect to see this stream edited into a video this week. You know what? Sure, why not? I'll do my best. To edit it. But yeah, so that's my beef that I have with blind play, and I'm sure Talia was mad that I spent a whole stream complaining about a manga that he's honestly and sincerely recommended to me with his whole heart, and I'm just like... Anyways, let me tell you all about how bad it is. Please recommend me more manga, Talia, so I can continue to rip into them on stream. I think it'll be fun. But yeah, now that I'm never wrecking stuff to you again. Well, look, you recommended Mr. A's Farm to me, and I actually really like that one. So, recommend me more stuff like that. VTuber BL. Wait, oh my god, that's like a whole world I never even thought about existing. Holy shit, I think I need to read that. Although I feel like it'd feel kind of wrong. I'd feel like if I read, like... I don't know. Would be like some fucking cursed, I don't know. It'd be like if I read like Markiplier BL. Like, I think that would feel kind of fucked up a bit, considering like, even if they're VTubers, they're still real people, you know? So, I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to read that. But yeah, Mr. A's Farm is peak. It's fluffy though, but the art is yummy. Yeah, the most recent chapters of it have been kind of dredging onto like kind of like fucking body horror. Don't worry, they're not real VTubers. Okay, because I thought it was gonna be like, oh, you should read like some Kanae and Kuzuha BL, and I'm like, bro, I'm sure that shit would be fire, especially because Kuzuha's a vampire. But like, I don't know about that, homie. I don't know about that, homie. But yeah, we could read some VTuber BL. I'll report back to you guys next week. Mayonaka no oro o mite. You know what? I'm gonna... Mayonaka... Okay, I'm gonna copy paste that and I'm gonna send it to myself on Discord. Here's my private server. Here we go. Sent. Also, I was making you think about how I hate BJ Alex. Self-indulgent piece of crap. BJ Alex? Who? 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 I'm so... Huh? I feel left out the loop here. What? It's a manhwa. Oh. You know what? I'm gonna read that one then. I'm gonna read that one too. had such a strong start. We're gonna see how that one goes. I'm gonna send that one also to myself. Anyway, so I unfortunately was so mid. That's how I feel with a lot of them. And I feel like a lot of times, like the artist kind of just starts to get too carried away with just drawing a lot of smut. And then I'm like, bro, what happened to the plot? Like, I remember I was reading this one that was just like, I think it was like called like Scentless Trace or something. But it was just like, as soon as they just started drawing smut, brother could not fucking stop. It was like 20 chapters of smut. And then they would have like a little bit of being like okay, now here's a little bit of my normal life for like half of a fucking chapter. And then it went back to another smut scene. And I was like, I need some plot. Come on, man. So that's why I tend to like reading psychological horror. But like, you know, even the psychological horror can drop the ball, as we can see with Blind Play. Like, all the fucking tongues! Why is there so many tongues? Ah! You know, as an artist, I get it. I get it. Just like hands reading hands, I get it. But yeah. So that is the stream for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah, we always do our chatting streams. They're always going to be kind of on the shorter side. But I really wanted to be able to kind of wrap this up because, you know, my one of my Arise VTuber compatriots and by one of my Rise user compatriots and also my idol group unit mate is having a subathon right now. So I wanted to be able to rate him so that way you guys could check him out because he's real cool and he's really nice and he deserves lots of appreciation. So who doesn't want to see their OCs kissing sloppy style? Agreed. Do not talk to me about League of Legends Yaoi. I have created much of it. Anyway, on that note, I'm gonna send you guys over to Agari. Subathon. I'm gonna start the raid over there. So I hope I can see you guys over there. I'll be over there for a bit as well too. And I hope you guys will support him. But I will see you guys tomorrow at 6 p.m. because I'm playing more Fortnite. So we're gonna do more Fortnite! It's gonna feature more Rise VTubers, including Agari! Ah! Anyway, get back to me on that BL. I will do that. Salute. Anyway, I'll see you guys over there. And thank you so much for coming here.